Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Prophetic Trumpet. We are going to continue our series on You Will Be Like God. Now last week we touched upon this incredible technology that has come about that can eliminate extinction, and that mankind is now making strides forward in the act of creation and recreation, dare I say resurrection power, and have resurrected dire wolves that have been extinct for over 10,000 years according to some sources. Now this week we're going to take it a little bit further. And you may think, what does this have to do with prophecy? Don't worry, we're getting to that. The series will tell you how we're doing, where we're going, what is being done, what the goals are in this series. You'll just hang with us here. Now, I'm going to read to you an article that was posted on the social platform X by the Intel SciF, I guess is how you pronounce it, or SCIF. And not for certain. This was sent to me by an associate, and nonetheless, this is very intriguing. Did not put the date on this, and I don't know who's behind this account, so I can't give them the proper credit, but nonetheless the link will be down there below in the notes section. So according to this post, the National Library of Medicine reported that the public is ready. I want you to catch that phrase. The public is ready for human animal chimera research. Now let's just stop right there, because most of us aren't even familiar with what a chimera is, because, well, school doesn't teach us what stuff is anymore. It's teaching us narratives and indoctrination. But nonetheless, a chimera, in a general sense, is the combination of multiple DNA to create hybrid species. And this is primarily depicting itself in Greek mythology with the melding of a lion and a goat. You can see this also with maybe the implementation of birds and mammals, something along those lines. Or we've even got centaurs, half man, half horse. That's also known, that general sense of a chimera, where you see interbreeding between two completely different species to create a new species. Now, let's get back to the article, because this sounds like we're going way too far as a society, it says. First in cloning, now it's mixing humans and animals together? Well, that's just wrong. Over 25 years ago, let's just do a history lesson here, the world's first clone was made from cells of an adult mammal, and it made her public debut. You might remember this if you're Gen X. Her name was Dolly. A Finn Dorset sheep was introduced to the public in 1997 after scientists at the Roslin, that's R-O-S-L-I-N, not as in Roslin Bakery, the Roslin Institute at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland implanted the cell nucleus from a sheep into an egg that was subsequently fertilized to create a clone. Dolly's debut set off a firestorm about both the practical value and the ethics of cloning, including the possibility of human cloning. Remember, this was 97. That was almost 30 years ago, folks. So currently, more than 40 countries, including the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Japan, formally ban human cloning. Now in other countries, let's take a look at the two mightiest superpowers, the United States and China. There are no legal prohibitions upon cloning. Cloning humans is now scientifically possible, mind you. American scientists have already cloned the first human embryo. I hope that scares you. Now experts say there is no longer any scientific barriers that prevent us from cloning human beings. Now, in a landmark 2013 breakthrough, researchers successfully cloned human embryos capable of producing embryonic stem cells, making a major step towards creating personalized therapies for diseases like diabetes. Now these embryos were less complex than fully human, however. Now let's fast forward to 2018, because in 2018, yeah, Chinese researchers broke new ground by successfully cloning two monkeys named Zongzong and Hua Hua. Insert your own jokes there. The first time these primates had ever been cloned, they used somatic cell nuclear transfer. Boy, there's an area for a dissertation that I'm sure all of us would like to read. The same technique used behind Dolly the sheep, and scientists overcame previous technical barriers, proving that the method could be applied even to complex primates. Now, experts like Jeffrey Kahn of Johns Hopkins University warn that we're entering uncharted ethical territory here. The potential to create human beings from a clone raises profound questions about identity, about consent, and about human dignity. Wow, imagine that. A scientist is talking to us about dignity. So in the United States, as we have stated, cloning is not banned at the federal level. And the FDA has only limited jurisdiction over medical procedures, leaving regulatory gray areas. While some scientists advocate pressing pause until the global standards can be developed, similar to what happened in 1975 at the Asilomar Conference on DNA Research. Boy, I'm sure there's a lot of caffeine that was consumed at that place and during that time frame. Others believe that the international nature of modern scientists makes such a moratorium unlikely. As cloning edges closer and closer to reality, society must urgently decide how to guide the future here before it arrives uninvited. Now, human chimera development may be taking place without anybody's knowledge, especially under black projects by the United States government or in other countries, because our United States government does have a lot of black projects, and that's not a racial thing, mind you. So the report findings from a new survey in the United States public attitudes towards human-animal chimeric embryo research, or otherwise known as HACE. It's designed to compare with recently reported Japanese survey data, and this report that 59%, only 59% of the U.S. public can personally accept the process of injecting human-induced pluripotent stem cells into genetically modified swine embryos and having human tissues produced in a pig's body transplanted into human beings. Wow, I'm sure that's against biblical mandates. Now this is the greater acceptance, than in Japan, mind you. And there's even strong acceptance among those with a strong religious affiliations who self-identify as conservatives. Now, we argue that the strong public support for HACE research, as well as the emerging literature, suggests that humanization of research animals is very unlikely. It should compel that the National Institute of Health to lift its current moratorium on HACE research. You see where this is going? It's like a horror movie, ready to be unveiled. Because remember what the original temptation was. You'll be like God and know. I want to thank you for joining us for this week's Prophetic Trumpet. And wow, we're just getting started on this series. Stay tuned and join us next week as we go even further as to what is going on in the world of science, how it's playing itself out improperly. Please like, share the message, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that stuff, push all the buttons, because if you're like the Smoking Hot Pastor's Wife, you like to push buttons. We'll see you next week.